What's up, guys? Chase Oliver here, bringing you another video to my channel. Anyways, this is my UFC 172 recap and results, otherwise known as Jon Jones just whipped the living ass out of Glover Teixeira. That's all I can really say about this card. This card right here, I would say it's probably forgettable. I would not really watch a lot of fights on this card, maybe the first 2 rounds of Jones versus Teixeira. But other than that, nothing really worth memorable. Like, we had the featherweight bout between Moss Holloway and Andre Fili. And really, to be honest, I was not even interested in this featherweight bout, especially when you got Joseph Benavidez taking on Tim Elliott in the freaking prelims. How can I get excited for Max Holloway and Andre Fili? Tell me how am I supposed to get excited for that featherweight bout? I'm sorry, these featherweights were not fast, they were not interesting, they don't look like threats to Jose Aldo, so why should I care? Why? Any of these guys going to face Jose Aldo soon? No. Any of these guys going to threaten Jose Aldo for the belt? No. No. Dana, if you're going to make featherweights on the card, make them threats to Jose. Not guys that have to win 2 or 3 fights. Max Holloway wins. Okay, featherweight fight. Let's just move on forward to Jim Miller submitting Yancy Medeiros. I did not even know who Yancy Medeiros was. I did not. I was just like, who's this guy? Jim Miller's going to beat him, and guess what? Jim Miller beat him by submission in the first round. Wasn't impressed with Yancy at all, and that's just pretty much it. Jim Miller, good win for him. When will he get a lightweight title shot? Probably never, because it's Jim Miller. Anytime he's in a lightweight title match or lightweight title contender match, he ends up choking at the end of it all. Luke Rockhold looked good against Tim Boesch. I really liked how Luke Rockhold looked in this fight. Luke Rockhold, to me, was one of the bright spots of tonight's card, in all honesty. I felt he looked really, really good in his fight against Tim Boesch. Tim Boesch, he's not doing well at all. What happened to Tim Boesch, man? I swear. This guy was on a rocket ship, and then all of a sudden now he's just like trying to survive in the middleweight division. But Luke Rockhold looking good. I'd like to see a Rockhold versus Jacare matchup in the near future. I think that'd be a great matchup. Rockhold does have a win over Jacare, and I want to see how Jacare will attack Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, like, believe it or not, guys, this guy is still a threat in the middleweight division. This guy is a legit threat in the middleweight division. He was a Strikeforce middleweight champion for a reason. And yes, sometimes the Strikeforce fighters haven't turned out well for the UFC, but when it comes to Luke Rockhold, this guy's actually a hard worker and a guy that deserves the spotlight. So in all honesty here, I think Luke Rockhold versus Jacare would be a nice little move up for him, and I think it would be a good test for Jacare, who has never defeated Luke Rockhold before. The light heavyweight bout between Anthony Johnson and Phil Davis. I don't know why anyone was surprised that Phil Davis could not take down Rumble. Did we forget that Anthony Johnson was actually a pretty good takedown defender back in the old days? No, we forgot about that. Anthony Johnson defeated Phil Davis. I had a feeling Anthony Johnson was going to win this fight against Phil Davis because, in all honesty, Phil Davis is just one-dimensional. His striking is par. It's not even good. His striking is terrible. The way he sets, the way he punches, it's not good whatsoever. And I did not think Phil Davis was going to win unless he could set up good strikes to get Rumble to freaking stagger a little bit and then take him down. Phil Davis did nothing on that, and Rumble Johnson just dominated it. And a lot of people were like, this is the best performance of Anthony Johnson's career. Anthony Johnson, you know, he's going to be making his way up the light heavyweight ladder. And I'm like, you put Anthony Johnson, who's a good takedown defender, against Phil Davis, who pretty much is just a simple wrestler. That's all Phil Davis is a simple wrestler with some jiu-jitsu background and terrible striking. And all of a sudden now we're going to overblow Anthony Rumble Johnson? Give me a fucking break. I mean, I like Rumble Johnson. He's a funny guy for sure. Definitely a great interview. But in all honesty here, come on. If you didn't smell this a mile away, what sport have you been watching for the last 4 years? You know Anthony Johnson's a solid takedown defender. You know Phil Davis is going to look for the takedown without setting up his takedowns whatsoever. So why are you surprised that Anthony Johnson dominated Phil Davis? Jesus. I won't take anything away. Anthony Johnson, yeah, he looked good. But how are people surprised by this? That is my question. How are people surprised by this shit? God damn. And now we move on to the main event. Jon Jones and Glover Teixeira. Jesus Christ, the first 2 rounds were good. That's about it. Jones just whooped the shit out of Glover Teixeira. I was excited for this fight because I was like, okay, Glover fights like Chuck Liddell. This could be an interesting matchup. Freaking Jon Jones just destroyed the fuck out of Glover. Glover could not do crap. Glover was probably hoping that Jon Jones poked his eye one more time so that way Jones could lose a point. That was the only way he was going to win a round if Jones poked his eye one more time. Glover looked terrible in this fight, man. He did not look good at all. I felt bad for Glover. The only thing I noticed from this fight was that early on, Glover did well against Jon Jones' takedowns. And one thing when you're fighting Jon Jones, you don't want to be on your back. But the thing about Jon Jones is he keeps on evolving. He beat Glover at Glover's game. And when you have a power striker or power fighter like Glover, once you get Glover into the fourth or fifth round, his power is pretty much gone. Because in the first and second rounds, all he's doing is loading up that hand, ready for a bam, bam. That's all he's doing in the first and second round, loading up that hand for a bam, bam. That's what he's doing. And then in the third round, he still has power in his hands, but he's a little bit tired. He's just gone through 10 minutes with 2-minute breaks of trying to punch the living shit out of Jon Jones. So third round, he still has some power. Fourth and fifth round, Glover had no chance, and Jones was just toying him, doing some Roy Jones Jr. crap, doing some Muhammad Ali crap, doing some Sugar Ray Leonard crap. That's all Jon Jones was doing. And all I gotta say is, like, Jon Jones just dominated Glover. I don't know what's next for Jones. We might get Gustafsson versus Jones 2. We might get Jon Jones versus the winner of Hendo and Cormier. I really don't care what's next for Jon Jones. It's not because I don't like Jon Jones or anything. I just don't really care all that much because it's a little bit obvious. And I think Glover and Jones is probably the better matchup and the one that I would want to see a little bit more. But I wouldn't mind a Cormier versus Jones matchup. And how Dan Henderson, he's been waiting for his Jones matchup for a long time ago since UFC 151 got canceled. So, in all honesty, Jon Jones just looked too dominant. And the thing about this is Glover Teixeira, he didn't look bad in this fight. I just wasn't impressed with him whatsoever at all. And I've been saying it in my videos. I've been saying this for the whole time. What makes me think Glover can beat Jon Jones? I've been saying that, and everyone was on the Glover hype train. I wasn't on the Glover hype train. I only picked Glover because I put money on him. I put 20 bucks on Glover, and I was hoping that, hey, maybe that 20 bucks can end up being something at the end of the day. So what? I lost 20 bucks. I don't give a shit. This is what happens when you gamble a lot, people. Don't gamble. It's a trick. But anyways, UFC 172 is pretty fucking forgettable. I'm not going to lie. Not a fight card I suggest you check out whatsoever. I just can't believe that they're using Jon Jones as just a one fight card type of guy now. And what I mean by that is where you structure a card filled with people that no one care about, but only one fight. And you don't know if those people below him are going to deliver. I didn't feel any of the fights below him delivered. Yeah, we got some submissions, but it was against guys that weren't even equal in level. UFC 173 should be a lot better of a card. I'm looking forward to that one. I just feel bad for Renan Barão because he has to headline with guys like Dan Henderson and, Daniel Cormier in the undercard, as well with Robbie Lawler taking on Ellenberger in the undercard. So, in all honesty, I feel bad for Renan Barão and TJ Dillashaw that they have to headline that card. But other than that, UFC 173 looks like a good card coming up. 172, forgettable card. Just know that Jon Jones whipped the ass of Glover Teixeira. I am out of here, guys. If you guys like me, subscribe down below. Check out all my other videos regarding professional wrestling or sports. Check out the chillinwithchase.com. That is my website where I post these videos and you can comment on them and everything. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseAuburn68 if you just want to talk with me about anything. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Hopefully, UFC 173 is a better show.